Welcome to The Courage Effect. I'm Suzanne Weller, and this is a show about growth and unleashing what's possible. You will hear inspiring stories about what courage looks like, how we navigate what's getting in our way, and the opportunities that surface when we choose courage over comfort. Let's get started. Hi, everybody. It's Suzanne. Wonderful to have you here at The Courage Effect, where each week I talk with a guest about what they've learned through wrangling fear and risk, no matter how big or small the challenge. So obviously, when I created the show, courage is a core value to me. I don't think that comes as any surprise. But two other core values to me in both being a human being and in my work in leadership development are collaboration, which is something that I love doing when I coach or consult with my partners, but also creativity. And I say that because today's guest, who is a former colleague and a friend of mine, she basically is one of the most creative people that I know. So our guest today is Carmen Cano. So let me tell you a little bit about her. Always at the intersection of business, design, and technology, Carmen has led teams and organizations in both Europe and the US in product, innovation, and design. She's currently the Senior Vice President of Product Design at Seismic, and she's played a role at a variety of organizations, including Hearst, the Seattle Times, CBS Sports, Getty Images, and Drift. She's passionate about solving problems by creating a vision that enables everybody to do their best work. And her motto, one of my favorite things about Carmen, leave it better than you found it. Carmen, welcome to The Courage Effect.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you for having me.
It's wonderful to have you. So I know that when I asked you to be on the show, you said that it had actually sparked some interesting thinking for you, specifically around courage. So are you good to start off with maybe sharing a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Yeah, when you talked to me at the beginning, I thought, you think about courage, and for me, it was, I'm not a fireman. I'm not a soldier. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saving lives. My life has been pretty easy. So I did start digging a little and reading some things. And I realized that I was misunderstanding the concept. And it's not about the big things. In some ways, I think everyone has courage. It's about being uncomfortable and embracing that lack of comfort and fear to do the right things, to do things that you want, to learn, to grow, to make progress. So it was interesting, and I'm grateful that you talked to me about that, because it changed my perspective. There is a quote that I found by Maya Angelou that says, "Courage is to trust to love one more time, and always one more time." That I really, really love.
I love that quote. I don't know that quote. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, yeah. It's the small things sometimes, but just knowing yourself and trying to push, whether it's for you or for others, to speak up when something is wrong, to defend what you think is right, to get better at doing something, right?
Yeah. Well, and I introduced you as being one of the most creative people that I know, which is very true. And you're also a wonderful collaborator. And I also think that both of those things definitely require a good dose of courage, because in creativity, and especially when you're co-creating with other people, sometimes it can be hard to challenge somebody or to bring a different idea to the table. So I'm curious for you, how does courage maybe work in your design process a little bit?
I think courage, the other way around. I am incredibly curious to a fault. I'm curious. I ask questions about everything. I like learning and knowing. And I think curiosity you need courage, because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you're going to find. You don't know how other people are going to react or respond. So for me, that curiosity gives me the courage to ask questions. And I think at work, most of what I do is ask a lot of why or what if. And when people say it's not possible, there is always a way. So it's almost like unleashing the potential of others by just imagining what if it was different? What if we could do this? And I think it's contagious, honestly. I tell people I'm a little crazy, and I think it's in a good way. But I like to push myself and everyone to discover the possibilities, the potential in ourselves and in things, in the projects, in the products that I work on. And I have a lot of rewarding moments because of that. It's just don't ever be comfortable. It's boring for me. So it's like, let's try a little better. And like you said, for me, my main motivation is leave it better than you found it. It doesn't have to be transformational all the time, or we talk about innovation and it's a loaded concept. Honestly, it's about, can you be part of the solution? Can you make things a little better? Your garden, your team, your house, yourself, your friends, the park, it's like that is that idea of progress for me is what motivates me. There was another book, I think it was Engineering is Human by Henry Petrosky, if I remember it. And it talks about how failure, we underestimate the value of failure in invention and progress. And many times we don't talk about all the tragedies that led to better things. A bridge that, fell and people died, but that led to discover that you need to take into consideration wind factors to build a safer bridge. And sometimes that fear of failure slow us down, or take us back. And it's like, it is okay to fail. When you try things, you're going to get them wrong more times than right. And it's about learning. And sometimes you're surprised that actually you didn't think you could do it, and you can do it. So
I think it's so important that what you're talking about, the thread of just the daily acts, like what are all of the things that you can do to hopefully tweak something? I mean, like continuous improvement in a way, right? But the whole idea of being comfortable with failing forward.
Yep. And I think there are sometimes concepts that are easier for all of us to understand. Like if you want to play piano or guitar, I play guitar badly, but I don't stop. When you start, it is going to sound bad, honestly, but you cannot give up because it doesn't sound good. You just need to keep practicing and practicing. And once in a while, it's like, oh, it didn't sound that bad, right? So it takes that, and it takes courage because you are not doing a good job. If you want it, you just need to be resilient and persist. Do it again. Try it again.
Yeah, and as you
sorry.
No, finish your thought. I apologize.
No, that is that idea of the Maya quote, right? Trust to love one more time and always one more time.
Well, and I really appreciate that too, because it's the whole idea of perfection doesn't exist, because we get so hung up on that. Yep. And the idea of it's good to tweak, but at the same time, I think it's good to also know when, what is practice versus what might be obsession.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And for you, I mean, obviously you've taken quite a number of big moves in your life. You were originally from Spain. But I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about what were the things where you really started to tap into courage at a younger age?
When I was a child, I was incredibly shy. And sometimes I am still shy, much better than before. But so the discipline to speak up in a school, play guitar in front of a bunch of people, all the effort, the emotional courage that you have to actually overcome something silly that is you're just shy. You get nervous when someone asks you a question. You don't want to talk to strangers. And I did work really hard to overcome that. And I think that did teach me that you don't have to change your values or who you are, but you can find the tools to use that to your advantage or to overcome those feelings of fear when they trigger.
How did you do that as a girl? Do you remember?
I trying again. It's like, even if it makes you uncomfortable, sometimes hearing your voice is a nervous voice, and don't stop, just keep going. You're sweating, try it again. Developing is like, when this happens, the brain follows the body. So like when you feel your body, try to tell your brain it's going to be okay. Just try it again. And I think that has been something that I keep doing with everything. Like, don't listen to the noise. It's like, if everyone can, you can. Just do it. Yeah, my story of coming from Spain to America is probably the most courageous thing I have ever done.
Well, and I definitely want you to share more of that with our audience, because it's a great one. So we do have to go to a break in a couple of minutes. So before we do, I'm curious for you, was there something that your parents did when you were a girl to help you to, obviously pay attention to your body and what was going on, but to really help you to get out of that comfort zone?
What the best thing that my parents did for me was unconditional love, no matter what. Whatever I wanted to do, they supported. They did teach me the right values, and they loved me. It's something that I feel very connected to me as a child, and to that love, because it doesn't go away. And I think it gives you a confidence, a health inside, quietness, that when you know that exists, that you experience it, that it stays with me.
I think we are both so incredibly fortunate, because I had a very similar experience with my parents, and they are also expats and moved to America. There's something to be said about being raised in a family of encouraging you to embrace fear, of encouraging you to get out and to discover things, and to know that at the end of the day, you're still going to be loved.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's take a minute for a quick break. We'll come back, and I definitely want to hear your story about venturing to the US. So for those of you that are here, this is Suzanne, and this is The Courage Effect. We will be right back. In business, your people are your most important asset. With so much change happening on the professional landscape, does your company have the expertise to support your employees for what the future holds? Maybe it's time for a partner like Plum. Female founded over 13 years ago, Plum HR Consulting provides human resources expertise to small and medium-sized businesses up and down the West Coast. Plum's HR consultants have more than 15 years of human resources experience in every type of industry, including tech, real estate, construction, manufacturing, and nonprofit. From long-term engagements to shorter projects, Plum can support almost every aspect of your business's HR goals. Allow Plum to take human resources off your plate so that you can go back to growing and leading your business. Visit plumseattle.com for details and information on their services.
Asking questions is better than making assumptions. Such is the premise of my show, Stacy Connects, a show about making connections through conversation. I welcome a diverse assortment of guests to chat about topics and ideas that are sometimes educational, sometimes inspirational, a little personal, and always entertaining. Every week, I draw out and befriend the elephant in the room so listeners can connect with the unexpected. Listen live Tuesdays from 3 to 4 on Alternative Talk 1150 KKNW.
Tell your friends about Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to The Courage Effect. This is Suzanne Weller, and my guest today is Carmen Cano. And we have been having a wonderful conversation about taking risks and really embracing fear. And Carmen definitely has a story to share, and it's about her moving to the United States. So Carmen, take it away.
Yeah, I was saying when I am from Spain, and I moved from Madrid to Seattle about 25 years ago. My life in Spain was fantastic. Like I said, my parents' family were wonderful people. I had a good job in a nice city, and really good friends. And at some point, something happened that made me move to the US, and I moved following my heart. I fell in love with someone that was here. My English was rough. I mean, at the beginning when I moved here, I was with a dictionary pointing at words. I had to learn a new language. I used to joke that when I moved here, I thought, I don't know if I'm going to get a job. I had a fantastic job in Spain. And I always thought, probably the only thing that I'm going to be able to do is to be making photocopies for businesses, and they are not going to like me because I don't follow instructions well. So it's like, I don't do what they tell me. So I moved because if there is one thing that really makes I am afraid of for real, is regret. So it's like, I try to do what I think I have to do and I want to do. And the last thing I want in my life is to wake up one day and regret, I didn't do it, I didn't try. That is something that is what makes me really uncomfortable. So all those things that you fear when I moved here is like learning a language. At the beginning, it's irritating. You feel like you are not as smart as you were before. And suddenly it's like there is a point where it becomes the opposite. It's like, it's such a luxury to be able to learn something that complicated when you are an adult and feel that you're getting better and that you don't have to repeat the same things because people understand you and you can explain more complex things and a sense of humor and sadness and emotions. But it was jumping to something I had no idea. I met someone on the internet thinking that it was, in my mind, it was an old, wise Chinese guy. That is how I imagined the first emails. Only to discover later in a picture that it was like a Scandinavian looking young, probably not that wise guy. So when I was in Spain, I never wanted kids. I never wanted to get married. I was happy. I was fine. And I came here to visit on a vacation because we decided, after writing back and forth, it's like, we need to meet. I got here on a summer, and very soon after I got here, we are having coffee, and he said, "Will you marry me?" And I said, "Yes." I didn't think about it, and I heard myself saying that, and you're like, what just happened? So I took time after to reflect, and I couldn't say no. It's like, if I say no, I'm going to regret all my life. I didn't know if it was going to work. I got back home. I told my parents and friends, I'm going to get married to this person that you have never met and that is on the other side of the Atlantic. And they told me, you'll be back in 3 months and we are here for you. And, it's been 25 years, still same husband. And I can express things in English, and I didn't have to make photocopies. I found good jobs very early on. But the experience of so many new things, learning a new culture, living with someone, honestly, that you're like, I don't even know if I know how to do that, or if I want to wake up in the morning and see the same guy every single day. finding a job. When, the first job in the interview process, there were things, Susanna, I didn't understand. And I just went with the flow. Fake it till you make it, right? And it was fine. Everything was fine. I will never look back. I have a wonderful husband, wonderful life, friends, and a job that I love. So I think is again, don't believe that you can, even if it is scary. And yes, some things at the beginning, you're clumsy, and you develop new tools to deal with. I remember at the beginning, it is very strange to be in a place where we are surrounded by noise. And if you understand what people are saying around you, noise is not noise, it's information. When you don't understand, it's all noise. And I developed the ability to actually block that noise without much effort now. It's like, if that is why I can concentrate no matter what is happening around me, because I develop a way to push that away so that you don't go crazy. And so many other things that you learn because you have to, and because you want to, right? So being responsible, of course. I haven't done anything so crazy that risk my life or anyone's, and I'm pretty responsible. But being able to move forward and to try new things and to believe that you can, it gets a long way.
Yeah. Such an amazing story. And it's interesting to hear you tell it, where you say that you were saying yes before you even knew you were saying yes when he asked you to marry him. So it sounds like it's also very much a body experience, which you also talked about as being a kid and having, the mind and the body are so linked in that way. You just kind of knew.
Yeah, there sometimes I listen to my intuition. I don't trust it 100%, but I think our bodies are our brains too, but our bodies are used to react to danger quickly, to movement, to things that are happening around, and sometimes we are able to synthesize before we analyze. It's like we don't know why, but something didn't feel right, and you have to think about it. And I think we need to listen to that, because it's information. We felt something because of something. And I tend to think about all the things that can go wrong, all the things that can go right, and you balance that and make a decision. But there are moments when that is, the body is telling you before you even think about it, is going. And that means it is important. Sometimes it may be overwhelming. It's like seeing a car coming through you and you immediately run, right? And you didn't think about it. And I think same thing when good things happen, or things that you don't understand or you don't know. When that happens, it's like, listen to it. Don't push it away, because it matters. Yeah.
Yeah. So really listening to your gut.
Yes.
That intuition. And I'm also thinking too, because you said that you are so curious. So because you're always coming to conversations and the world with wanting to learn, seems like you're very tuned into the moment. You're very present, and listening to your body is also a big part of that.
Yes. Yeah. I think I am very present. I'm alert, because I like to observe, to pay attention. Someone told me one day, if you see me around, I am anything that is written anywhere, traffic signs, a little sign somewhere, I'm always reading everything I find. And, most of it is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. But it's a habit that I am just paying attention, looking up when you're walking. I love walking. I think it helps you open up, think about things, and honestly enjoy there are many things to enjoy out there if you are just paying attention. Show up, be present, pay attention.
It's so true. Just looking up. I mean, and I literally, I did a journal entry for myself last week, and I said, my intention today is to look up. Like, I want to make sure that I'm like, like new seasons, things are changing in the world around me. And I want to make sure that I'm paying attention to it.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I'm quite jealous that you have such a good noise distillation process. That is something that I feel like I am constantly working on. And that is hard stuff.
Yeah. I think I have it out of necessity. So like when you need it, you develop your tools to move forward and well-being, honestly. Yeah.
Well, and I love that you say that too, because it's also not just bringing the tool, but it's sharpening the tool as you go, right?
Yes.
Because it's constant. It's something that we always need to be doing. So, well, I so enjoyed this conversation today. Thank you for always bringing your creativity and also just your joy. I mean, that's one of the things that I always experience with you, is that you are always in the moment. And as somebody that's in the moment with you, I appreciate that. So
thank you, Susan. Thank you.
Yeah. So for our audience members that might want to reach out to you, what is the best way for them to get in touch?
LinkedIn. I love connecting with people. We all learn from each other. So please, if anyone wants to just say hello or ask a question or connect, I will always love that. So don't hesitate.
Fantastic. And I'll make sure that I put a link to Carmen's LinkedIn profile on our webpage. So Carmen, thank you for a wonderful conversation.
Thank you for doing this.
Pleasure.
And for having me, of course.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody out there. Wonderful to have you. We'll see you soon. Take care. Stay courageous. This is The Courage Effect. Bye-bye.